And good morning, everybody. Silas here today. I am feeling a little bit under the weather. I would stay home and rest, but there is work to be done, so staying home and resting is not an option. I'm out here now, got all this junk back here picked up from ripping out engines out of cars. I packed a bunch of stuff off of that bus into that dumpster, and to get this front half to fit in the crusher, I've got to cut it somewhere right about here. I actually forgot about a bunch of stuff that was going on today. I had to close on our old house, so I did that, and I'm still not feeling real good. So I came out here and I went out back to look at the rest of the cars that Sean's been bringing out, and I was checking those out and I saw a shady spot. So I pulled over there and leaned my chair back and went to sleep for a little bit. I'm feeling better, still not feeling real good, but that nap definitely helped me. But then I remembered while I was out here, I needed to set that Blazer out because he's coming to get that either tonight or in the morning. He's just going to winch it on. And then I bought this cute little army trailer here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but the price was right on it, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It's got real funky wheels and tires on it, so a guy's going to have to figure out something there. Maybe swap out the axle or something like that. But I thought a guy could do something with this, so for now I just put it right here out of the way. Worry about it another day. But now I'm going to head back out to the other yard. Honestly, I'm not going to fire up the torch today. I'm just not feeling it. I can already barely breathe, and so the idea of cutting stuff just doesn't appeal to me. So we're just going to put that off till tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and run the excavator, maybe pull some more engines out of cars, that type of stuff. So I don't know, we'll see what we get into. There we go, got him loaded up. We're going to be shipping loads all day today, so I'm just going to keep processing cars. And check this out. This Jeep here, I know it's just junk, nobody really cares about it, but when I was, I'd be about 20 years old, 21 years old, something like that. See the little sunroofs back here in the back of it, kind of cool. I wanted to buy a vehicle and I didn't know what to buy, and so I looked at one of these and I was getting ready to buy it, and I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And then I went to a place down the road a little bit and they had one of those right there, optioned out, everything. I mean, heated seats, whole 9 yards, completely optioned out, and it was actually about $1,000 less than the Jeep. So I ended up buying that. And it's just funny how back then they were both such nice vehicles, and now here's a Kia Sorento that's junk, and there's a Jeep, not Liberty, a Patriot that's junk. Just funny how almost 15 years ago those were both such nice vehicles, and now they're both waiting to get crushed together in the same bundle. And there he goes, headed out. My dad was out here working late last night. Got quite a few cars processed. I just pulled those converters off that Jeep a minute ago. This came in this morning. I haven't checked it for a converter yet. I'll do that in a little bit. But I'm gonna go show you what my dad's been working on inside the fence over here. He's been working on cleaning this out in here. This Cadillac's already spoken for. Old winch truck here, just junk, gonna crush it, but I'll probably pull the winch setup out of the back of it before we do that. There's a few old cars in here that we won't crush for now. There's a handful of old cars back up and through here. There's a couple junkers in here, like this Ford truck and this Dodge truck. Probably drag those out and crush those. Maybe not the Dodge, we'll look at it later once we get to it. This Ford will for sure crush it. When we put this Ford truck in here, that was a fairly late model truck and it's got real low miles on it, but I don't feel like messing with the motor in it now. I'm just gonna go ahead and crush it. Oh, there's a Volkswagen truck. I just had a guy asking about those the other day in my email. I'll have to see if I can find his info, see if he's still interested. Looks like one side's kind of messed up with the motorcycle. But yeah, eventually we'll come in here, we'll crush out that pile of cars, kind of clean this area out a little bit, make room so we can park the excavator inside, because right now I have to park the excavator outside, which we have cameras and security and everything out here, but it makes me feel a little bit better parking it inside the fence compared to outside the fence. But yeah, we got a few more cars here, and then we've got that great big bus down there. You can see the roof of it. That bus is all stainless. It's an old sports team bus. That's from the local college here in town. It actually runs and drives, but it's worth more for scrap than what anybody would ever give. They quit using it because the air conditioner quit working, and it was just too hot to drive it around in the summertime. But we want to get that out and rip it apart with the excavator while the excavator's here. This used to be the main road. There's a gate up there, and we used to be able to drive through here, and this was all way more organized than it is now. And once upon a time, many years ago, this was an active salvage yard. The guy that owned this place used to have the cars lined up nice and neat and sold parts off of them and all that stuff. But we bought him out, man, I was probably 12 or 13, something like that. So no, it was even maybe a little bit longer than that. So it's been at least 20 years, maybe a little bit longer since we bought this place. And outside the fence out there, that was all just empty field, and half of this was mud pit swamp where you couldn't even use it. There was a road right here that went up and around, and that was the only really usable part. So we have put, I don't know how many loads of concrete and whatnot out here. And what we would do is dig out gigantic holes in the ground and fill it clear full of slabs of broken concrete and whatnot, and then put dirt back over the top of it. If they ever tried to use this ground for anything, they would have a nightmare time trying to dig it out and be able to build on it. But anyway, we have crushed this place out and filled it full so many times over the years. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of cars have gone through this yard. This used to be one of the main yards that we crushed out of, and then over time it just kind of became a storage lot where it just got packed full of cars, and then that was that. So that's kind of why I'm out here now, is helping my dad get this much more manageable. There's no way we'll get everything done out here, but there's just a bunch of major projects we want to get done. It's taken a little bit longer than I expected, but part of that is because we keep buying so many cars. I bought 33 vehicles this week, antique vehicles. My dad bought, I want to say 54, 55, something like that, later model scrap vehicles. So the stuff's coming in as fast as it's going out. So we're not making big headway, but we are making progress. door's locked on this one. It's got a few deals on here. I'm going to try to get off if they'll cooperate. I don't have a clutch bit. Inside the van, camper, whatever you want to call it. Squeeze through here. I thought about saving that light, but it's got surface rust on it, and I don't have the ambition to do it, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to try to not destroy this engine. I'm not sure what size of engine this is, but I'm going to try to be gentle with the front half of this van. That way I can pull that out of there later. It's got a nice pair of doors on it too, but man, the last set of van doors I saved I thought would sell fast. They were off like a 17,000 original mile camper van, an old one like this, and man, it took me forever to get $75 out of the pair. So probably not going to mess with that. It does have a nice headlight ring and some emblems up here. Those will all sell. The Econoline emblems will sell, but I shouldn't damage any of that because I'm mainly just going to rip the body off of it. Oh, it looks like my dad dug this one out of the row inside. This is a early 50s Dodge truck, 5-window, little short bed step side. Technically it's called a Utiline. I don't know how you pronounce it for sure, but that was the Dodge version of a step side. The truck is missing a lot of parts. It's missing a lot of the glass. It's got some rust around up at the top, but you know, it does have a good looking patina on it, and it is a short bed step side type truck, and it's a 5-window. So I think this in here makes somebody a good little rat rod or something like that. If you had another one you could put together with it, get you a long bed or something like that with a better cab or the glass in it still. The grill bar that's missing is actually laying inside it, so it's pretty well complete other than the glass and some dash parts. Yeah, I'll have my dad set that aside out of the way. And then this camper here, once again, it's got some dash parts in it and some emblems on the front of it, but I shouldn't damage any of that. Like I say, I'm just going to try to rip the body off of it. Nothing good inside this one at all. I should be able to get both of these camper bodies in that dumpster and still have some room left over, so I'll probably have my dad bring one more camper up here that I can rip apart and put in there. And then the chassis out of these things, I can go ahead and fold them up and put them in the crusher. But like I said, I do want to pull the engine off of this one here eventually. The engine's probably good in that Dodge too, but it's probably just a 318 or a 360, and those just don't have a ton of value, not like a old small block Ford does. But I'm going to go ahead and hop in the excavator and get to work. I'm going to see if my dad will move that truck first though, because I'll probably tear the one over there apart first and then do this one. There we go. We are done with this one. Took about 20 minutes. Well, we're not done. We got to clean the ground up now. But it took about 20 minutes to pull this thing apart. All this stuff here, there's a lot of wood and insulation on that, but that can go in the dirty aluminum breakage, like with our motors and whatnot. I would say that's probably about a 50-50 mix, maybe a 40% aluminum, 60% fluff, which is about the same as what transmissions and engines and stuff like that come out to as well. I was just going to go ahead and pitch it all into the dumpster, but it actually kind of came apart fairly decent, so I went ahead and saved it. Yeah, now I got this mess here on the ground. It took about 20 minutes to rip it apart. It's probably going to take about another, I'd say, 10 minutes to clean this up. So about 30 minutes to get rid of that camper. I'm not sure the best way to get that engine out of there. Honestly, probably best just to go ahead and cut these pillars, the A pillars and the B pillars, and lift the roof off, and then just pick the engine straight up out of there. I'll have to see if I can find someone to help unbolt that or something one of these days, but until then I'll just cover it up good. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and then move that Dodge truck, go ahead and do the other camper. There we go. Got 2 campers knocked out. Like I said, I'm going to pull some parts off of them later, but now the camper parts are gone at least. Got this full, put a bunch of trees in there. I got to drive my truck in now. I pulled a bunch of engines out and pulled the converters off, and then I got a couple radiators laying here I got to gather up. Don't want to leave that stuff laying around because it'll disappear. Got to go lock it up in storage. But they're supposed to pick this up next week and get it out of here. It's going to cost us about $120 for the dumpster, and probably, I'm guessing, another 80 bucks, so probably about $200 a dumpster to get rid of them. In the past out here, we've actually buried quite a few campers and whatnot, and actually there's somewhere up front, there's a trailer house buried, a complete trailer house with all the furniture and everything in it. We took and dug a big old hole, and we, right beside the trailer house, rolled it over into the hole, pulled the frame back out, and dumped a bunch of concrete on top of it and buried it in dirt. But we don't want to do that anymore. That was back in the day when that was just par for the course. Everybody did it. These days we're a little bit more civilized. My dad's been up here. A bunch of cars came in today. That's one reason why I was pulling engines out. Was 3 of the cars I pulled engines out of are ones that just came in, and this in here I'll probably have to pull the engine out of it to get the converters, because I'm sure it's got manifold cats on it. What is this? Yeah, Kia, I figured it was. So yeah, this will have 2 converters on the engine. But anyway, back to that dumpster. It's going to cost us about $200. It took about an hour of work. So if you hired somebody to run a machine, you'd be looking at $150 an hour. So that's $350 to get rid of 2 campers. The scrap value of what's left over, let's see here, there's probably 3 tons there between the 2 of those, plus some copper radiators. No, wait, the Ford radiator's gone, so just the Dodge has a copper radiator in it still. So roughly $500, $600, something like that, plus any parts or anything like that. Of course, that's my bonus. Actually, today is my day off, and I'm out here working anyway, so I guess we'll figure that as my bonus. But even if you figured only $500, we're still $150 in the green compared to what it costs to get rid of them. So we did make money on them. It's just in that same amount of time and effort that I put into processing those, I could have done something else much more profitable. It takes me about 10 minutes to rip the engine out of a car and pull the converters off of it, and so I could have ripped out 6 engines and pulled the converters off of them, which is way more money than $150 profit. But we got to get it done, and so I'm glad to have those 2 campers that were right there on that spot gone. I think what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to go way out back where most of the campers are, and I'm going to pick one spot, and I'm going to put every camper in that spot, rip it apart, move the chassis out of the way, put the next camper in that spot and rip it apart, and that way all the trash will just pile up in one spot, and that way I can kind of grab it with the excavator, and if I tear the ground up in that area, kind of rake the dirt out, pack it in the dumpster when I'm done, then we can bring fresh dirt in later or get it from a different spot, whatever. I think it'll be better to do that than it will be to go around to each spot and tear up each camper in its own location, because then I have to clean it up as I go, and so that adds, you know, 10 to 15 minutes per camper, whereas if I just do them all in the same spot, I never have to do that rake thing until the very end when they're all done. When you take 15 minutes times, I don't even know how many campers, I haven't actually counted them, but I think there's about 30, maybe, I don't know, maybe more. But anyway, that's hours that I'll be saving by doing it that way. But anyway, I'm gonna hop in the truck, go in there, grab those converters and radiators, and I'm gonna head out. And with that, I am headed home finally. I really need to edit some video, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna go to sleep. Luckily today's Friday, so tomorrow I'm just gonna rest all day long. Not gonna go work, not gonna do anything like that. That way, hopefully on Monday, I'll be feeling 100% again, and I can get back to it hard and heavy, fire up the torch. I hope you guys enjoyed watching those campers get ripped apart. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It was kind of fun, actually. There will be a lot more of that coming up. I probably won't make a dedicated video, although I might. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But you'll just have to watch. If you want to see more of that, you'll have to watch all the videos I put out, because who knows which video that's going to be in. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff next week, so you just want to come back for sure. Stay tuned. I will let you all go. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there, find an adventure. I'll see you on the next one.